Okay, so have you ever gotten lost, like me, scrolling through those luxury real estate listings, fantasizing about a life of, waterfront views and infinity pools?
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. And today, we're diving headfirst into a market that's, well, it's in a league of its own, even for those daydreams.
Yeah.
Miami's Coconut Grove, we all know it's a haven for, well, let's just say those with discerning taste.
Right.
But get this, we're honing in on the luxury condo market. Think $4 million as a starting point.
Yeah.
That's your ticket to entry.
Wow.
We're talking Park Grove at Grand Bay, Grosvenor House, even that new Mr. C residences, places where, the sand might be free on the beach, but the view from your condo, definitely not.
No.
So you've been diving deep into some really fascinating market data.
Yes.
And we are so excited to kind of pick your brain today.
I'm happy to be here.
Really try to understand what makes this very, very, very specific pocket of the market tick. What's going on?
Yeah. I think what's so captivating about this specific market, just these few key buildings, right?
Right.
They give us such a remarkably clear snapshot of what's happening in this very, very specific sector of the luxury real estate market.
Yeah.
It's almost like that jeweler's loop, right?
Okay.
We're really magnifying the intricate details and dynamics that might otherwise get just kind of lost in the vastness of a city like Miami.
Right. So we're not looking at the entire picture. We are really honing in.
Exactly.
Ditching the binoculars and grabbing a microscope today.
Love it.
All focused on a handful of buildings, really. And one of the things that jumped out, at least from the data, to me was how the luxury market seems to be behaving so differently than the overall Grove market.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like, comparing like a bustling farmer's market, which the Grove has, to like an exclusive, auction. Same location, but completely different vibe.
Completely. You hit the nail on the head with the vibe, right? Part of it's the sheer demand.
Okay.
For these larger units, right?
Okay.
So it's not just about more square footage, which is always nice.
Of course.
But it speaks to, I think, a bigger lifestyle shift.
Okay.
You see more affluent families gravitating toward this kind of turnkey luxury, right?
Right.
The space is there, the views are there, amenities. You're in the heart of Coconut Grove. It's a pretty compelling package when you put it all together.
But can afford it, right?
Exactly.
But that brings us to another point, another kind of data point that I thought was interesting. We are seeing fewer sales so far this year. So I think in those specific buildings that we talked about, we're only at 15 luxury condo sales so far this year. Compared to, and this is for the same time period last year, 23.
Right.
So that's significant, right? That's almost a 40% drop.
It is.
What's going on there?
So the culprit is pretty simple.
Okay.
Lack of inventory.
Really?
Yeah. It's like that really exclusive bakery, right, that everybody loves to go to, and they run out of the croissants. It's that simple.
They run out of croissants, yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that actually mean, though? What does that mean for the market itself?
So it's really simple. It creates more competition amongst buyers.
Right.
Basic economics.
Right. Supply and demand.
Supply and demand, classic seller's market.
So do you...
Demand is far outstripping the supply.
Okay.
You might even look at the average price per square foot, right?
Okay.
Seems a little bit lower this year, but don't be fooled.
Okay, why is that?
Well, you have to remember that average includes all the units in these buildings, right?
Right.
More of the smaller kind of, less extravagant units have sold recently. So that obviously drags down the average.
So you're saying just because the average might be a little bit lower, that doesn't mean that these places are suddenly affordable.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, not by any stretch.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What is the actual cost? What are we looking at to get in on this kind of exclusive market?
The data showed that to get into one of these luxury condos, these new Grove buildings, we're talking at least $2,000 a square foot. Just to give people context, 2,000 square feet, which, let's be honest, that's pretty standard in this world.
Not this world, yeah.
We're talking a cool $4 million, and that's before you've even picked out, throw pillows and a nice houseplant.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. And it gets even higher than that, right?
Yeah, it was like $2,500 a square foot as well.
$2,500 easy. Okay,
so for those who are in this market, what does this actually mean for them? What should they be prepared for?
So I think the name of the game here is patience.
Patience? Okay.
These are discerning buyers. They know what they want.
And they're just walking in?
And they're prepared to wait for it.
Wow. Okay.
Imagine, the penthouse with the unobstructed bay views, private elevator, top of line, everything.
Yeah.
This isn't just owning a piece of real estate. This is buying a lifestyle.
Right.
That kind of exclusivity comes with a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah, and you said patience. So are we saying that this is going to continue, we're going to continue to see high demand, limited inventory?
Absolutely. In fact, I think this pent-up demand, coupled with the very limited inventory, it's only going to continue to push those prices higher.
So a seller's market.
100%.
It's really fascinating to me just how much we can see when we look at this small group of buildings.
Yeah.
I feel like like you said, we're using that loop.
Yeah.
We're getting such a clear picture of the larger world of luxury real estate.
Yeah.
It seems like across the board, high demand, low supply, discerning buyers who really know what they want.
Yeah.
And yeah, sellers are kind of in the driver's seat here.
They really are.
It's a fascinating market. Now, I want to kind of shift gears for a second, and I'm curious to get your take on this. We've been laser focused on Coconut Grove.
Right.
Do you think that these trends that we're seeing here, do they tell us anything about what's to come in other luxury markets?
That's a great question.
Are we witnessing like a global shift in how, I don't know, how the ultra wealthy are choosing to live?
Right.
I'd love to get your take on that.
I think it's something to think about, for sure.
It's definitely something to think about. That's something I think for our listeners to consider as they're navigating their own, real estate journeys, whatever those may look like.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy diving.
Happy diving.